The thought of dry bearing surfaces kind of makes my ball bag shrivel.
A dick hanging lower than the balls?
So it's been nearly 3 months since our last bench talk. What the hell's going on? Sorry guys, had a few physical dramas lately. Had a minor back injury from the gym. Took about 8 weeks off, went back into it. Thought I was a bit of a hero, got back into the deadlifts and all went sideways. Blew out the old L5S1. Did you say LS1? No, you idiot. I went in for some back surgery and unfortunately I requested a full forged bottom end, but all they could offer me was this OEM cast piston junk, so that'll have to make do. So got some rehab. Unfortunately I can't sit down for too long, so I'll have to make do at the moment.
So we might have to cut it short today.
Yeah. Since you've been away, there's been quite a few insightful YouTube comments.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
YouTube dyno tuning expert Jack Black has caught us out on one of our videos. Really? Almost detonated to pieces with the nozzle on it. It was running so goddamn rough. After that, the studs, head bolts probably lifted. I think some valves were floating too. I saw blow-by through the valve covers and it ran so goddamn rough after the second dyno run. You almost blew it to pieces. He's actually right, you know. There was a reason that I didn't include all the video. So what has been happening over the last few months? Well, recently we've hit 200,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so thanks for your ongoing support, guys, and if you ever see us at the track, come up and say g'day.
The bitch is on my ass! He's gonna take me on the outside! I'm gonna put him in the wall! Harry! This guy's going down!
Where on earth did you get that inside footage from? Anonymous sources, I can't say. Anonymous sources. Who do you think you are, CNN?
You are fake news.
So Australia's biggest sport compact drag racing event, the Honeywell Garrett Jamboree, was held recently. It included a bunch of Puerto Rican cars that came over and absolutely killed it. The event was the biggest I think they've ever had and probably the most popular crowd sizes. It was full credit to the team that runs that event. The MechTech Mazda RX-8 set a new 13B world record. He just improved on his PB slightly with a 657 at 200 mile an hour. So he's a fair way ahead of the 13Bs in Australia. 200 miles an hour out of a twin rotor, that's incredible. Yeah, and during the week also PAC unveiled a few US-built RX-8 chassis that they'll be running this year with 2-rotor engines, so I think they're really going to take it up to those guys. Oh, good competition. The MechTech 2JZ Scion, he laid down a 583 at 244, which is the fastest sport compact pass seat in Australia, just at an Australian drag strip. And probably the crowd favourite for the event was the red Toyota from Puerto Rico, the A86. 2JZ, mind you it's a 3/4 chassis. He ran a few 5-second passes during practice with a best of a 594. You got to remember that's a very short wheelbase car. The driving when you see that from behind is a crazy man steering that down the track. Very impressive. They ended up winning the final against the Gas Celica and was probably well deserved. It was probably the most consistent car there all weekend and definitely, yeah, crowd favourite there. I saw Callie Betts driving the little Datto, the 4G 6.3 powered Datsun Ute, ran into the sixes. Phil Penny's crazy little 2JZ S600 Honda, tiny little car, as he called it, a little roller skate. He ran high sevens all weekend. He ran a 781 at 181 and took out his class. So well done, Phil. The Dynamite Performance Dodge Avenger ran a 681 at 216 miles an hour. So he's reset his own barrier record in Australia. And I think with a bit more time and testing, that car is definitely going to be a mid 6 second car. Yeah, and it's through an auto transmission too. Pathetic production. Seems it had to be done at 100 miles an hour. Bad view of timing board. You had to be a speed reader to view it. Also, what lane was what? I turned it off after 8 minutes. It stank. Stank.
I know you don't understand.
What do you mean? It's hard to understand left from right.
The left hand now knows what the right hand is doing.
Left and right? You might need a little bit of help.
Your left side is over here, and your right side is over here.
One of our more popular videos is an engine vid of a small block Ford, big horsepower engine, 800 plus horsepower being put together, and there's just non-stop comments about lack of assembly lube. Yeah, they're right, there was no lube used anywhere, as by these insightful comments. Why didn't they use assembly lube? Shouldn't you apply a little lube when assembling? No pre-lube on crankshaft, connecting rod journals? The thought of dry bearing surfaces kind of makes my ball bag shrivel. Why would you assemble an engine dry like that without any assembly lube? Non-stop. Well, let's take a look. Did I just see the cam crank bearings all go in dry? I must be imagining things. So let's talk new cars and concepts. Did you see that new Mercedes Maybach Cabriolet? Yeah, awesome looking thing. It's a real beast of a car. I love the kind of the old retro look worked into it. I mean, just look at this description. Emotionally appealing design and innovative technical concept solutions defines the ultimate in luxury of the future. Kind of reminds me of another car.
Don't worry, baby. I'll be gentle.
One car that's been getting a lot of attention this year is the new Kia Stinger. The pricing was revealed last week. Yeah, the entry price for the V6 twin, is it twin turbo? Twin turbo, Brembo brakes, rear drive and a lift back. So it's got a lot of appealing features. Yeah. Apart from the typical soulless V6 engine every manufacturer is using now, but you can't really avoid that because of the very compact packaging. I can see why they do use that engine platform. Be interesting to see how it goes in the real world and if anyone actually modifies the thing. Notice there's a bit of butthurt too when it's mentioned that Commodore SS owners may buy one. Just sacrilege buying a Kia, and they're a pile of crap apparently. But yeah, but that's true. Nothing sounds like an LS. Oh, one of those Kias was just tested recently at Sydney Dragway and it ran a 13.2 at 109 mile an hour. Not bad, 109 mile an hour in reality, that's like a mid 12-second car on the road. And one thing I've been thinking about is who is the most boring car manufacturer of 2017, and without doubt I'd have to say Mitsubishi. You think back to the 90s, they had so many cool cars, and now basically if you look at their catalogue, they're selling what is a 10-year-old Lancer and just a fleet of different shapes and sized SUVs, and that's it. Nothing even remotely performance orientated, anything that you'd really want to drive. It's really sad. Yeah, they're a brand that's really stagnant and really going nowhere. Who do you think's a more boring brand? Keep in mind what the brand used to sell, not just what they sell today. Now, did you see this clip going around recently? Old mate he had one job to do. All he had to do was lead the bride and groom away safely and slowly away from their wedding. The wedding was over, good celebration nearly finished, and look at him, what was he thinking? Put kilometres as well as mile per hour for all of us normal people. Mate, they tried this at Quarter Park once. One month we turned up there and the time boards were reading kilometres and not mile per hour, only kilometres. there was that much backlash, it was instantly changed back, and now they show mile per hour followed by kilometres. If I see a car go through at 191 k's an hour, it doesn't mean anything to anyone that's a regular at the drags. They're like, well, what does that mean compared to a car in the States running 120 mile an hour? You got to think about it in your head too much. So that's why we use mile per hour in Australia, and I don't think it's going to change, and I hope it never does.
Yeah.